Hey, what's going on out there, guys? This is Wayne here, and we're going to be looking at the big dogs of security chain. This is the Pewag security chain. This is what I did my original video on. Pewag square link chain. This stuff here is absolutely tough. I mean, it's super, super tough. This is the new competitor. This is the Security Max from firstchainsupply.com. This came from Delta Chain and Rigging. This is just regular 80 proof coil chain here. So this is like a high quality transport chain, and this is just some junky hardware store junk. So first of all, how did I test this stuff? HK Porter, made in the USA, bolt cutters. Boom, just like that. I keep the edge on these very, very, very sharp, and you can see what it did. Cutting these security chains really messed up the cutting edge on that. Luckily, I know how to fix that. I'll be able to grind that back down and resharpen that. But here's why. Here's how the numbers work. Here's how it breaks down scientifically. Security chain versus standard big box chain or transport chain, like this here. And HK Porter bolt cutters, they are designed to cut things up to 48 on the Rockwell hardness scale. So we're going to bring it back down to science. We're going to bring it Rockwell hardness scale, because that's what's really going to matter here. If it's hard, if one material is harder than the other, it's going to cut it by a certain percentage. If it's not, the amount of leverage that I have with those big giant bolt cutters, it's going to get cut. So the hardness on the jaws of your bolt cutters is going to be 62. That's going to be a super high grade tool steel. Rockwell hardness scale of 62. That's just a good baseline. Anything else is probably going to be less than that. If you pick up some bolt cutters from your big box store, you know, junky ones from Harbor Freight or wherever, they're not even going to be that hard. So don't waste your time messing with those. We're only working with the quality stuff here. This stuff is supposed to be hardened to right around that 40 mark, 38 to 42, but it's just so big and thick that it just doesn't allow you to really cut through it. We'll go through this right here. This is the Pewag 12 millimeter snow chain. This is a chain that's designed, it was originally designed for loaders and heavy equipment just like this. What they've done with that is they figured out how to make it extremely hard. Pewag snow chains, #1 chain in safety around the world, #1 brand in North America and worldwide. Here's why. This chain has the highest alloy content on the market and goes up to 63 on the Rockwell hardness scale. So this chain is hotter than the steel in my bolt cutter, so they're right there. And that's why this chain is so tough and so durable. It only comes in the metric sizes, so 12 is pretty comparable to 1/2 inch. That's why we've got that there. But the other thing to consider is that this is case hardened, but it's case hardened ultra hard. So the center is probably about as hard as this stuff is here. This stuff is through hardened. So it's going to maintain that hardness of that 42 to 38 all the way through. This is just, it's not even going to give you a chance to get a bite on that, and I'll show you that later. See if we got some more information here. So this is the part number, if anybody wants to order it. This is Pewag hardened square link chain. 12 millimeter is 3012. That's the stock number. 12 millimeter heavy equipment. Its weight is about 117 pounds per 50 feet. So let's take a look at that. I was mistaken in my last video and kind of made the assumption that all square link chain from Pewag was the same and was referring people to the grade 100 chain. That is not the case. We want the Pewag hardened square link chain designed for traction tires, and now we have the official part number. That's going to work out well. Or we can go with the Glacier square link chain. It's hardened as well, and its part number is 2012SL. 2012SL. Both of those, you're going to get this ultra hard 63 on the Rockwell hardness scale, harder than the bolt cutters. So that's what you're going to be looking at there. First chain is going to be, let's see here, your 1/2 inch security max chain, part number 38-448CL. Look at that right there. What is it? 38-448CL, right there. So this is going to be a through hardened chain, and you can see right here. This is the ultimate test right here. I jumped up and down on those bolt cutters on this, and it did make this indent. That's why we prove everything scientifically. That's why I'm such a believer in figuring out what is the Rockwell hardness scale, what is that steel designed to do, what's in those alloys to go ahead and do that. I was able to bite into it a little bit, but trust me, after 10 minutes of jumping up and down on these things, I'm done. I'm defeated. I'm not doing it. Your edge is getting flatter on the bolt cutters. It's only getting harder to cut through and make your way down through this stuff. Here's what happened on the Pewag chain. Nothing. Not even a scratch. You cannot tell where I made any kind of attempt to cut that, even in the weakest point in the bend here. Again, 63 Rockwell hardness scale rating. It's case hardened, but I'm sure if the outside is 63, by the time it gets to the center, you're maybe in the 50s, maybe down to 48. Either way, I cannot believe how tough this stuff is. Both of these are great. When it comes down to it, that's what's going to happen here. This is your grade 80 transport chain. You know, it's pretty difficult to cut, but I was able to mold my way through it. And then this is just some big box store. You know, it's not really rated for anything. It's just, I think it's got a weight rating of 3,000 pounds. Let me just go ahead and redo a little bit of that for an example here. Go ahead and put this link in here. Take that like so. And so that's cut. 1/2 inch. Boom. Not very difficult. That stuff there, pretty difficult to cut through. I'm not going to go through that again. I'm just going to show you on the other side here what me bouncing up and down on this thing does, and how long it even took to make that kind of a dent in there. So let's see. Get that on that weakest part right there. Okay, so you can see me jumping up and down on this thing, and that's all we're going to get out of it. Just a little tiny bite mark right there, and then not very much at all under here. I mean, I can't even hardly, you can see it maybe a little bit, but I can barely feel it. So, not very easy. That's why we go with these hardened security chains. Now I'll go ahead and take this one, this is a Pewag. Throw that in there. Same thing, right on that weak edge. That was my bolt cutters. Ooh. Yeah. So, you can see, I don't know if the camera picked that up or not, but that spark was actually my bolt cutters chipping right there. So, I'm not going to mess around with that anymore because I don't feel like catching a piece of shrapnel. I can't even figure out where I was cutting on that thing because it just doesn't, must be that right there. Must be that right there. So definitely, out of all the chains that I've seen or tried, and we got some, you know, we got the 3/8 stuff too. You'll have to check out my other video for that. This stuff is unbelievably hard. That was kind of cool. I hope the camera picked that up, but it actually chipped, and there was actually a spark from the bolt cutters, the jaws actually split, and a chunk came flying off of there when trying to cut this. That is insane. That just goes to show you that when we bring it back to, you know, the Rockwell hardness scale, if the bolt cutter jaws are 62 and this is 63, it's not even going to touch it. Not even close. So you can rest assured that your valuables will be as safe as they can be with the Pewag right here. One more time with the part number. Pewag, 12mm chain, hardened square link chain, 3012. That's stock number 3012. I'm just a firm believer in it. I think it's great stuff. The original video, I apologize for any miscommunication about thinking this was the same as grade 120 chain. It's not. This here is specifically designed for tire chains for large equipment. So thanks. Keep watching. Check out the links below to find out where you can buy this stuff. I'll put some links up and some prices, direct stuff on where to go and get this, and some telephone numbers, some contact information. Thank you to First Chain Supply for supplying this. Thank you to G&M Wire Rope, or Delta Chain and Rigging, Grand Junction, Colorado, for donating this chain. There's not much else to say. This stuff right here, either one of these is going to be great. I'm pretty sure that this stuff is extremely expensive too, though. So just keep your prices in mind. I think this is going to be about $14.99, and this here is going to be, I think it's like 20 bucks, 28 bucks a foot. So it's probably almost twice as expensive. This is great. It's going to do the job. This is just a tiny little bit better. This is not, and this is not. So there's not much point in even putting this kind of chain on your stuff. It's just broken so easily. So thanks for watching. See you later.